shadow of choice.
Ella Thompson stepped off the bus and took a deep breath as she looked up at the imposing gates of Crestwood Academy. The prestigious school, known for its rigorous academics and elite student body, stood before her like a castle of dreams and fears. She had worked hard to earn a scholarship here, and now she was determined to make the most of this opportunity. Her parents, Ellen and Robert Thompson, watched with pride as Ella adjusted her new uniform and clutched her backpack tightly. They had high hopes for their daughter, believing that Crestwood would be the key to her future success. Little did they know Ella's journey would be fraught with unexpected twists. The first few weeks at Crestwood were a whirlwind for Ella. She struggled to balance her studies with fitting in. Her academic prowess quickly earned her recognition among teachers, but it did little to endear her to her peers. She felt isolated, navigating a sea of unfamiliar faces and high expectations. One day, during lunch, Ella found herself alone at a table when a figure approached her. Precious Harrington, the school's queen bee, with her designer clothes and confident stride, sat down beside her. Precious had a magnetic personality that drew people in, and she had taken an immediate interest in Ella. "Hey Ella," Precious said with a charming smile. "Mind if I join you?" Ella was taken aback, but quickly warmed to the idea. Precious' company felt like a welcome change from her solitude. They struck up a conversation, and Ella was intrigued by Precious' tales of high society, parties, and secret spots in the city. As weeks passed, Ella found herself increasingly drawn to Precious' world. Precious introduced her to a new cycle of friends, each with their own allure and rebellion. They would skip classes, attend parties, and indulge in behaviors Ella had previously avoided. At first, the thrill of breaking rules was exhilarating, but it soon became a routine. Precious' influence over Ella grew stronger. She encouraged Ella to skip more classes and spend more time away from her studies. Ella began to neglect her academic responsibilities and felt herself drifting from her original goals. Despite warnings from her parents and teachers who noticed Ella's sudden shift in behavior, Ella remained steadfast in her friendship with Precious. Her parents, though, expressed concern, but Ella brushed off their fears, insisting that they didn't understand her new friends. The school planned on an excursion to the historic town of Waverly, a tradition meant to give students a break from their studies and an opportunity to explore local history. Ella and Precious saw this as another chance for adventure. As the day approached, Ella was excited but also nervous before leaving the school grounds. On the day of the excursion, the group arrived at Waverly. The historic architecture and quaint streets provided a picturesque background. Ella was captivated by the town's charm but also felt a nagging sense of unease. Precious, however, was eager to escape the organized tour. "Let's ditch the group and explore on our own," Precious suggested with mischievous grin. Ella hesitated but was ultimately persuaded by Precious' enthusiasm. They slipped away from the group, their hearts racing with excitement of their secret adventure. Precious led Ella to a less frequented part of town where the atmosphere became increasingly airy. They wandered into a neighborhood known for its gritty reputation. Ella's initial excitement turned into apprehension as they entered the dimly lit club that Precious had insisted they visit. Inside, the club was filled with rough-looking individuals and loud music. Ella felt out of place and nervous, but Precious seemed unfazed. They mingled with the crowd, and Precious introduced Ella to some shady characters. As the night wore on, the atmosphere became more menacing. Ella noticed that Precious was acting increasingly erratic and seemed to be drawing the attention of the wrong kind of people. Suddenly, a group of men cornered them. Their intentions was unclear, but clearly hostile. Ella's heart raced as she realized they were in grave danger. Precious, once so confident, now seemed frightened and powerless. The situation quickly escalated. The men demanded money and valuables, and when Precious was unable to meet their demands, things took a darker turn. Ella and Precious were forcibly taken from the club, their pleas for help ignored by passersby who were too afraid to intervene. Ella and Precious were driven to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. The fear and despair that gripped Ella were overwhelming. Precious, who had been so charismatic and controlling, now seemed vulnerable and terrified. Inside the warehouse, the situation became even more dire. The men were violent and abusive, and Ella and Precious were subjected to a horrific ordeal. Ella's mind raced, struggling to find a way out, but there was no escape from the nightmare that unfolded. By the time the police found Ella, she was barely conscious. Precious was dead, and Ella's injuries were severe. The news of the incident sent shockwaves throughout Crestwood Academy and the community. Students and teachers mourned the loss of Precious, and Ella's tragic story became the center of widespread media attention. Ella was hospitalized, her physical and emotional wounds deep and painful. Her recovery was slow and difficult, and she struggled with feelings of guilt and regret. The once bright and hopeful student now faced a harsh reality. During her recovery, Ella received support from her family and a compassionate counselor. The road to healing was long, and Ella grappled with the trauma of her experiences. She began to reflect on her choices and influence Precious had over her. Determined to turn her life around, Ella decided to use her experience to help others. She spoke at schools and community events, sharing her story to raise awareness about the dangers of poor choices and the importance of listening to those who care. As time passed, Ella's story became a powerful lesson for many. Crestwood Academy implemented new programs to educate students about making wise decisions and recognizing the signs of harmful influences. Ella's bravery and resilience were recognized, and she became an advocate for change. The memory of Precious lived on, and Ella journeyed, inspired others to be conscious and thoughtful about their choices. Ella found a renewed sense of purpose and dedicated herself to helping others avoid the same pitfalls she had faced. In the end, Ella's story was one of tragedy and redemption. It served as a stern reminder of consequences of choices and the importance of heeding wise advice. Through her pain and struggle, Ella became a beacon of hope and change, demonstrating that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to healing and transformation.